Hello, and welcome to The Budget Mouse, a podcast that will help you plan an incredible Walt Disney World vacation, even if you're on a shoestring budget. I'm Leah Althizer, and I've been helping people save money at Disney World for the past 10 years through my websites, podcast, and courses. I'm so glad you're here, and let's dive in. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to episode 110. Magic Kingdom is the most visited theme park on the planet. It's also the smallest park in all of Walt Disney World, and therefore the most crowded. It's also many people's only experience of Walt Disney World, and sometimes people confuse it for Walt Disney World itself. So I've had many people ask me if I would do a guidebook that is just for Magic Kingdom. I have a full Walt Disney World guidebook that will help you plan a vacation without long lines or overspending, but many people don't go to the other parks and they are wanting just a guidebook for Magic Kingdom. So I have done that, and I will share a promo code for a special discount if you can listen and hang in there till the end of this episode. So I want to walk you through what my perfect day at Magic Kingdom would look like. And I got to try this out 2 days ago. I was there at Magic Kingdom. I was trying out one of the touring plans that's included with the Magic Kingdom guidebook, and I thought, wow, this is a great day. It's like best day ever, and I would love to share with people kind of how it went. So I'm going to walk you through the planning that I do to kind of set up a day at Magic Kingdom, and then how I generally move through the park, what snacks I like to eat, and just what a day looks like there for me. So first of all, the setup. How you experience Magic Kingdom depends a lot on where you are staying, like what hotel you're staying in. And I know that seems kind of counterintuitive, but that will dictate how you arrive at Magic Kingdom and how your day begins. So if you're staying at a Disney-owned resort, you are going to arrive via Disney transportation, hopefully. Do not stay at a Disney resort and then try and drive yourself to Magic Kingdom. I'm going to confess that I did do that on my first trip as an adult back in 2010 because I didn't know this important piece of information I'm about to share with you. So when you're staying at a Disney resort, you're going to take Disney transportation to get to Magic Kingdom. And what that's going to do is allow you to bypass the transportation and ticket center, which is the first thing people experience at Disney, well, after the parking gates, if you are driving yourself to Magic Kingdom. So Disney buses drop you off right at the gates to Magic Kingdom. If you're staying at a resort that you would get there by bus, if you're staying at a monorail resort, obviously you're going to arrive by monorail. Or if you're staying at Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness, you may come by launch, like a boat. So that too will drop you off at the same place, right there at the gates to Magic Kingdom. Now, if you're not staying at a Disney resort, you'll be driving yourself or maybe taking an Uber or a scheduled transportation from the hotel bus. In all of those situations, first you're going to have to pass through the Magic Kingdom parking gates. So it is $30 a day currently to park at Magic Kingdom. And during peak times when many people are arriving at once, the lines do back up at the parking gates to get into the Magic Kingdom parking lot. So plan on that. It's just another reason to arrive early, which is going to be a theme as I talk about planning your day at Magic Kingdom. Getting there early is the key to starting off having a great, perfect day at Magic Kingdom. So you'll park in one of the parking lots and either walk or take a tram to the transportation at Ticket Center. This is where you will go through security. That's the next thing that you will do. And wow, I was thinking when I was there, Disney's gotten so much better at streamlining the security process. There used to be a bag check, which would slow things down a lot, where they had to go through your bag. So now you just walk through. Everyone just keeps moving, hopefully. And if you aren't stopped, it goes quite quickly. Next, you'll decide if you want to take the monorail or the ferry boat to get across Seven Seas Lagoon to actually get to the gates to Magic Kingdom. Now, the fastest way, in my experience, is to take the express monorail. I have made the mistake in the past of seeing that there was a long line for the express monorail and think, maybe I'll take the resort monorail because that might be faster since there's no line for the resort monorail. Don't do it. It will take longer. Inevitably, those stops at the Polynesian and Grand Floridian will slow you down. So even if you have to wait for the second or third train, it will go faster with the express line in the morning. So I would take the express monorail. You can take the ferry. It's a bit slower, maybe 5 minutes slower. It depends on if there's a ferry right there waiting to leave, but it's more relaxed. It's less crowded usually. You can walk around a bit more, but I prefer the monorail because I just want to get there. And I want to say that this separation between the parking lot and the gates to Magic Kingdom was intentional. Walt actually designed this, Walt Disney. He wanted it to seem like you were leaving reality behind. And so not being able to see the parking lot or experience that from Magic Kingdom and having to take a mode of transportation to get there really added to that experience, he thought. So that is the involved process of getting to Magic Kingdom in the morning if you're not staying at a Disney resort. Now, the other thing to consider when you're setting up your day is, will you be buying Lightning Lane multi-pass or not? Also, will you be buying Lightning Lane single passes for the 2 rides that are there? Now, I always recommend buying multi-pass for Magic Kingdom. Why? Because it's good for currently 16 different rides. Normally that's up to 18, but there are 2 rides closed for refurbishment right now, Big Thunder Mountain and Buzz Lightyear, that are normally included in that. And so the bang for your buck is tremendous. Multi-pass costs between $25 and $35 at Magic Kingdom. So per ride, it's really a great value. Now in single pass, I don't usually buy both. I try to just buy one. And if I'm buying one, I'm buying Tron, because there's really no good way to skip the line to ride Tron. Their lines build right away. It's not open during early entry. The lines stay long at night because people prefer to ride at night. And I just don't want to wait 50 to 70 minutes to ride that very short ride. So I always buy single pass for Tron. I sometimes buy single pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train if I don't want to stay late and ride it after 8 p.m., which is when the lines start to go down, or I don't want to ride it during early entry. But those are 2 good options to ride it. So a good way to save the money on that single pass is just to prioritize it during early entry. That requires a very early arrival at Magic Kingdom, but if you're willing to do that, you don't have to buy the single pass. Now, the single pass is pretty cheap for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, between $9 and $12, so it might make sense for you to just buy it. But those are my strategies for considering all of those rides. While we're talking Lightning Lane multi-pass, the 3 rides that I tend to pick as my advanced selections are Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Haunted Mansion, and then a burner ride of either the Teacups or Dumbo. I prefer the Teacups. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say burner ride, or if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about Lightning Lane multipass, I have prior podcast episodes that break these concepts down in detail. So I just would suggest going back and listening to those if you're feeling lost. While we're still talking prep for the day, something that people don't understand is how crowds build throughout the day at Magic Kingdom. So the wait times for all rides, if you average them together, it rises steadily over the first 2 hours that the park is open. Okay, so from 10 minutes on average to 25 minutes by 10 a.m. And then by 11, they're up to 30 minutes. And then they stay there all day until after 7 p.m. when they finally start to drop. So understanding that that's how crowds build at Magic Kingdom hopefully will help you prioritize getting there early. And I think people's big stumbling block with Magic Kingdom is just not getting there early enough. I get asked a lot, like, how early should I leave? And then people are very surprised by how early I say. So if you're staying at a Disney resort, and the Magic Kingdom opens to everyone, the official park opening time is 9 a.m., I think you should be at the bus stop at 7:30 a.m. And you might be thinking, why? That's so much time. And I'm going to explain to you why in my Perfect Magic Kingdom day here. Now, if you're driving, I assume that means you don't have access to early entry because you're staying off property, not at a Disney resort. And I say you should plan to be at the parking gates by 8 a.m. So set your GPS, find out how long it's going to take to drive in the morning. So that's considering rush hour. There's a new feature on Google Maps where you can say what time of the day, and it's going to consider rush hour for how long it's going to take for you to get there. So I'd say be at the parking gates by 8. So let's start the perfect day. Most people don't know that Magic Kingdom opens well before the published opening time, which in the default time is 9 a.m. Sometimes it will open at 8 a.m. I don't know if I've ever seen it open at 8:30, but definitely in the busier times of year, we'll open at 8 a.m., particularly on party days. So during the fall and winter, well, really starting in mid-August through Christmas, there are parties, select days at Magic Kingdom, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. On those party days, the park will close to regular day guests at 6 p.m. And on those days, it often opens at 8 a.m. to give more time in the parks for people that have bought a regular just day ticket to Magic Kingdom, so they're not like cheated so much out of the time. They give an extra hour in the morning. So what that means is that early entry starts at 7:30 a.m. on those days, which that is very early. So if those are great days to go to Magic Kingdom, actually, because most people shy away from those days because they're feeling like they're getting less bang for their buck because the park closes at 6. If you're an early bird, if you're willing to get there early, the crowds will be lower there compared to the days around it, where then people choose to go to those days so they get the full experience at Magic Kingdom with the fireworks and everything. Now, if you've never seen the fireworks, you definitely need to see them. So go on that day and deal with the higher crowds. But if you've been before, you don't mind missing the fireworks and leaving it by 6. And you can wake up early, go, and you'll have lower crowds throughout the day. So when the park opens at 9, what that means is that Main Street USA will open a full hour before that, sometimes even a little before that. It will open to anyone. You don't have to have access to early entry. Anyone can enter Main Street USA up to an hour before, and you can go get coffee at Starbucks. You can do a little shopping. You should definitely be taking your castle pictures during this time. It's not very crowded, and there's no rides that you can do during this time. So this is a great time to do these things. And if you get there early enough, there won't be any lines at Starbucks, and later in the day, the lines will be out the door with things so crowded. So it's a great time to have like a leisurely morning. Now, another thing I like to do starting at 8:30 is ride the Main Street vehicles up and down Main Street USA. So if I haven't talked about this on other episodes, there are, I don't know how many different ones there are, three at least. One is a double-decker omnibus that has a bus stop right in front of Town Hall where Mickey Mouse meet and greet is. And starting at 8:30, it will give you a one-way ride down Main Street USA to the castle. And then from there, we'll pick it up anyone that wants to ride back from the castle to the top of Main Street USA. And it just runs all morning long, taking people on these rides. Most people don't know about them, and they're really fun, especially if you sit on the second level of the omnibus and you get this great bird's eye view of Main Street USA and the castle. It's really fun. So that's something I also like to do on my perfect Magic Kingdom day, is ride the Main Street vehicles. Now, if I'm trying to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train during early entry, I will be skipping some of this and going straight there because that queue will build before it opens at 8:30. You don't want to arrive right at 8:30 to ride that ride. So the morning routine has changed now at Magic Kingdom. They used to hold everyone at a rope to get into Fantasyland and Tomorrowland for early entry. They don't do that anymore. They just let everyone in, and they will check to see if you have access to early entry to get into those lands, but then you can go and line up at whatever ride you want to do first. So people will head to the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and start getting in line at 8. Like I would be there by like 8:15 if I was wanting to ride that during early entry. I mean, the earlier you get there, the shorter your wait's going to be. So if you're willing to give up the coffee, if you're fully caffeinated, if you've had breakfast, just goes there straight away and wait. In line, you'll be one of the first people to ride it. I personally don't like to ride it during early entry. I mean, it's just not my favorite ride in general, so I often skip it, or I'll buy a single pass if I really want to ride it, or I will ride it after 8 p.m. when the lines start to go down. But many people like to do it during early entry so as to save that money for the single pass. So that's what to do if you want to do that. What I like to do is a little bit non-traditional. I like to go during early entry, so by 8:30, to ride the Astro Orbiter in Tomorrowland, which is not many people's favorite ride, but there's something magical to me about flying up over Tomorrowland in the morning and seeing the castle and just starting my day that way. I love to do that. So while I'm over there, if I had little kids with me, I would also do Tomorrowland Speedway during early entry, because that is a ride then you don't have to worry about trying to snag a multi-pass lightning lane for it later in the day, or waiting in the miserable sun for it later in the day. So it's a great one to do. Or if I'm not feeling Astro Orbiter and Tomorrowland Speedway, I will do Peter Pan during this time of early entry. Now, if I don't have early entry and I'm not buying lightning lanes, which, let's be honest, I'm never doing that, but many people ask me what to do. It's a total different touring plan, because you don't have access to the rides in Tomorrowland in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland like everyone else does. So I say rope drop. As soon as the rope drops at 9 and you're allowed in, go and do Jungle Cruise and Haunted Mansion over there, because that way the lines haven't already built for those rides that are open during early entry. Because if I haven't said this, early entry is only for Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. So go rope drop, Jungle Cruise, and Haunted Mansion, and bless you for trying to do Magic Kingdom without multipass. So after I've gotten that out of the way, I like to spend the rest of the morning in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland and trying to knock out as much as I can before lunch with definite snack breaks in there. And I have recommendations for snacks. So when I went a few days ago, I arrived a little bit late because I had flown to Orlando that morning and gotten a rental car and driven myself there. So I didn't arrive until after 9. And I think I got to my first ride, the Teacups, yes, at 9:10. Even with the late arrival, I was able to ride Teacups, Dumbo, Journey of the Little Mermaid, and It's a Small World all before 10 a.m. So it's 4 rides before 10 a.m. No, I wasn't running. No, I was taking my time. I was taking lots of pictures and videos and everything. So, I think it's realistic to do 4 rides in your first hour there in Fantasyland if you know which rides to do. After 10, then I will do a character meet and greet generally. This time I did Pete's Silly Sideshow, which I really like. I met Minnie and Daisy, but the lines were actually much shorter for Donald and Goofy. So if you're willing to meet them instead, there are 2 separate lines for the 2 separate meet and greets. So you'd have to wait twice if you wanted to meet all 4 characters. But it's kind of a out of the way character meet and greet that doesn't get as long of lines as the others. And it's really fun. The theming is fun. Another favorite of mine is Enchanted Tales with Belle, but that opens later in the morning, usually at 10:30. It is spectacular. If you've never done it, really make a point to do that. Now, I'm also snacking my way around in the morning. So if I haven't had a good breakfast yet, I'm going to Friar's Nook. They have a great sausage, egg, and cheese pretzel roll breakfast sandwich with tater tots. It's huge. You could probably split it between 2 people, but I really like that. I'm also probably going to Gaston's Tavern for a snack because my favorite creme brulee croissant is there, or the giant cinnamon roll. So I will be snacking in Magic Kingdom as well. For the rest of the morning and then lunch, I did the Carousel and Mickey's PhilharMagic. I had lunch at Columbia Harbor House. Other things I tried to do before I leave the park by 2 p.m. I also did Pirates because I had trouble getting a lane for it. So I just waited in a 20-minute standby wait for Pirates. And I did all of that before I left the park at 2 p.m. So this is a mandatory afternoon break for me. No perfect day at Magic Kingdom includes staying there miserable all day, particularly in August when it is hot. Oh, I did have some other snacks. I was really snacking this time. The Anti-Gravities is a snack location in Tomorrowland, and their salted caramel cold brew float is so good. I can't remember if I had that before I left or when I came back, but I also tried the Cheshire Cat Tail, which is right by the Teacups, and I'd seen it a lot and never tried it. It was really good. It's very chocolatey, like a dark chocolate. So the afternoon break from 2 to 5, those are the times I like to go. Those are the most crowded hours in the theme parks. They're also the hottest. So I like to get out of there. And that gives me, with transportation time, I say about 30 minutes transportation to get back to the resort and then reverse it. But that gives me 2 full hours off my feet in the air conditioning or at the pool cooling down before I return in the evening for round 2. And I usually feel like I can't go on by 2 o'clock and I need the break. And then by the time I come back at 5, I'm like, I have so much more energy. I'm ready to go again. And so for me, the afternoon break is essential. Also at this time when I leave at 2, I have 3 Lightning Lane selections stacked up for the evening, ready to go. Now, I oftentimes group them really close to one another because of this late arrival window. So you get a grace period of 2 hours after the official 1 hour period to show up. So I just make them earlier rather than later. Sometimes I get through them all really quickly. Sometimes they take longer, but it's always better to just make your Lightning Lanes earlier rather than later, knowing that you can get to them when you get to them and it's not going to go away. So that's what I do. Now, when I come back at 5, I'm going to tackle Adventureland, Frontierland, and Liberty Square with those Lightning Lane passes. I'm probably having dinner at Pecos Bill because I love it. It's one of my favorites. And then after dinner at Pecos Bill, I'm probably going to watch the Country Bear Jamboree, which it is so good now. Every time I go and see it again, it's just like so much better than it used to be. I've never had seen an attraction that like got revived like that one did. It's so entertaining now. Probably also having a Dole Whip if I'm not sick of sweets by that point. I also hit up the Enchanted Tiki Room. I was able to do so much in one day on this trip because the crowds were so low in August. And yes, it's hot, but you can get so much done. It's really amazing. At this point, I'm probably making my way over to Tomorrowland again to ride Tron if I haven't already. Sometimes I'll ride it during the day when I'm already over there in Tomorrowland. Sometimes I'll wait until night because the lighting effects at night are great. Now, if you wait until night to ride it, you may run into the problem that I did, which is that it goes down a lot. So it was my time to ride it at 8 o'clock. It went down. So I was like, great, what do I do now? So I decided to just call it. I didn't wait around for it to reopen, and I just made my way over to Liberty Square where I was going to watch the parade. Oh, I rode the People Mover. So mandatory thing to do on a perfect day at Magic Kingdom is ride the People Mover. It is my favorite attraction at Magic Kingdom. I have so much nostalgia for it. It never lets me down. It's pure magic. I love the People Mover. So about the nighttime parade, it was my first time seeing it. Right now it's at 9 p.m. and then again at 11 p.m. And the 11 p.m. parade was not crowded at all. I was making my way out at that time, and I really don't know how long they're going to keep that going, but it looks like it is for the next 30 days at least going to have 2 showings. The spot that I planned to watch it from was in Liberty Square, and wow, it ended up being the perfect place. The reason being is that there's like kind of benches along the parade route there in Liberty Square. They're not even benches, they're like brick seating areas. So I arrived 30 minutes early and I just sat there. So at 8:30 I arrived and I sat down to wait. And what ended up being great about it was that when the parade then came through, I was able to stand up on top of where I was sitting. And there were lots of other people standing there too. And I had a great vantage point because I was up above everyone else's heads. So it's a great place. You can sit and wait for it. It's not as crowded as Main Street USA, and you're going to get a great view of everything because you're way up above everyone else. So I'll probably always be watching it from there. It was a great spot. The parade was good. I didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed it a lot. The floats are huge and really impressive. And then my concern was how bad it would be, how crowded it would be after the parade, making my way over to where I wanted to watch the fireworks from, which are at 10 p.m. And it wasn't bad at all. Like, you just have to be okay with crowds and go slow. So I just slowly waddled over, made my way. I like to watch from, if you're looking at Cinderella Castle, a little bit to the right side of it. And I'm going to give a spoiler about the fireworks show. So just close your ears for 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this, or fast forward. But I like to be over there because Tinkerbell flies from the top of the castle right over top of you. And that is where I like to watch her from. She's my favorite thing in the fireworks show. So, okay, the spoiler is over now, so you can listen again if you don't want to know what happens during the fireworks show. So, after that, I may be heading out, but I will probably take my time and not rush out with everyone because all of the people who are behind me, which is the majority of people, are going to be ahead of me in line for the bus, and I'm going to have to wait anyway. So I might as well ride one more ride, right? I could go back into Fantasyland right there and ride something I missed earlier in the day, or in Tomorrowland. Instead of waiting in line for the bus, I can just do one more thing. Now, what I did was, because Tron had gone down earlier, it was back up and I was able to go ride Tron before I left for the night. And that was the end of my Perfect Magic Kingdom day. And wow, it was so much fun. I had a blast. So if you've listened this far, I'm going to give you a little promo code for my Magic Kingdom guidebook, which has way more detail than what I've gone into now, and touring plans for every situation, exactly what to book in advance for Lightning Lane selections, what times, what to book next after you make a Lightning Lane redemption, what to book next. It just walks you through the whole day. So the promo code is podcast5. That's the word podcast and the number 5 afterwards. And I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the guidebook so you can go check it out. So thank you for listening. And if you found this helpful and have a minute to give it a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, it will really help other people find the show. So thanks again. Have a great day.